Tonight on To The Point, the governor taking measures to make the state's home insurance market more competitive, but some are saying his proposal favors the insurers too much. A bill that's just one signature away from making hearing aids for children something insurance companies have to cover, saving parents thousands of dollars a year. Plus, an invasive fly you'll want to keep an eye out for in your home gardens.
California's insurance market is in trouble, so much so that today the governor signed an executive order urging the state insurance commissioner to take action and quickly. Thanks for watching To The Point. I'm Becca Hobbiger in for Alex Bell. Well, the insurance commissioner did act quickly. Just hours ago, he announced what he calls the largest insurance reform since California voters approved Prop 103 back in 1988. Now that made insurance commissioner an elected office and made it so that insurance companies can't raise rates without the department's approval. So let's talk about the crisis we're facing now. In recent months, we've reported multiple insurance companies that have, to varying degrees, limited the way they offer homeowners insurance in California, with some refusing to write new policies altogether. They cite the rising risks due to climate change, like wildfires, the rising cost of construction materials due to inflation, and a regulatory environment that doesn't allow them to raise their rates quickly or efficiently enough. In fact, since 2022, 7 of the top 12 insurance companies in California have paused or restricted new business in the state. They include Allstate, State Farm, and Farmers Insurance. Here's how California Insurance Commissioner Ricardo Lara describes the current crisis.
With the climate crisis coupled with historic inflation, we are truly living in unprecedented times. It is clear we cannot keep going down the same road without any action or change.
So what's he doing about it? After a potential deal in the legislature fell through earlier this month, Lara says he's now announcing an agreement between the state and insurance companies. Those companies will have to write at least 85% of their homeowner policies in wildfire-prone areas, where homeowners are hurting the most right now. But in return, they'll get some of the big changes they've been asking for in the rate approval process. Now, Lara's goal is to get all this done by December of next year.
Modernizing our insurance market is not going to be easy or happen overnight. We are in really uncharted territory, and we must make difficult choices.
A consumer group called Consumer Watchdog opposes the governor's executive order, saying there are other ways to address the impact of climate change that we have outlined and can be worked out in the legislature. It cannot be solved unilaterally by bowing to the industry's self-serving demands and its threat that they will leave the state. For months now, I've been talking with homeowners hurt by this insurance availability and affordability crisis. We'll hear more from them in coming days. Meanwhile, the governor is back in California now from the United Nations, and he is expected to start signing bills on his desk. Here are a few that we're following. One would allow workers on strike to get unemployment benefits. They would have to be on strike for at least 2 weeks for the benefits to kick in. New York and New Jersey already have laws like this in place. AB 28 would impose an 11% tax on all guns and ammo bought in the state. Advocates say the bill would bring in about $160 million a year that would be used for violence intervention programs. And AB 12 would limit how much landlords can charge for security deposits. The bill would limit the deposit to the amount of 1 month's rent. For many of us in California, the ability to hear is a luxury we can often take for granted. And for one family in Lodi, it's literally a luxury, as they have to shell out thousands of dollars every few years so their daughter can hear. But as our Jeannie Nguyen shows us, a bill sitting on the governor's desk could change that.
She's on pair number 2.
Hearing aids have been a lifeline for 8-year-old Avery Schuler since she was a newborn.
She was about 4 weeks old when they told us that she had mild to moderate hearing loss.
With no experience dealing with hearing loss in their family, Caprice Schuler says her first priority was finding a solution.
We weren't thinking anything about costs, that we were going to have to come up with money.
But money quickly became a problem when the Schulers found out how much it would cost to get Avery her first pair of hearing aids.
The cost was $5,000 for the set, so for 2 hearing aids. And we put the first pair of hearing aids on a credit card.
Schuler says they have to be replaced every 4 years, costing the family thousands of dollars because their health insurance won't cover the entire cost.
The insurance is counting it as an elective or like cosmetic, and it's not. It's something that the kids need to be able to develop sound and language.
But that all might change if Governor Gavin Newsom signs Senate Bill 635. The Let California Kids Hear Act would require insurance companies to include coverage for hearing aids for people 21 and younger.
There would be no financial burden that we would have to worry about, and wouldn't have to worry about my daughter having a financial burden when she gets older.
Senator Caroline Menjivar introduced SB 635, and a spokesperson for her office says a similar bill did not pass in 2019. Her office has no indication that the governor will veto this bill, and they remain hopeful.
He has the chance to impact thousands of children's lives in California.
And our Jeannie joins us now. Jeannie, you asked the governor's office today, does he plan on signing this?
Well, Becca, a spokesperson for the governor's office did say that each bill will be evaluated on its merit, and the governor doesn't typically comment on pending legislation, and he has until October 14th to sign or veto this bill.
All right, we'll be following that. Jeannie, thank you so much. Now to the housing crisis. A battle on California streets could be headed to the U.S. Supreme Court. The League of California Cities says previous court rulings are tying their hands in addressing homelessness. As Devin Truby explains, the group wants SCOTUS to step in.
Cities across California are struggling with when and how to enforce camping ordinances. Sacramento has faced federal injunctions and temporary restraining orders 2 years in a row, restricting them from clearing tents.
Ambiguity in some of the lower court decisions that are making it very difficult for our cities to navigate the different lines. What can you do? What can't you do? And so we're seeking some insights from the Supreme Court.
Those lower court rulings include Martin v. Boise, which says cities cannot enforce anti-camping ordinances unless they have enough shelter space available. In Sacramento City and County, there are more than 9,000 homeless, and there's only enough shelter space for a third of them. But homeless advocates say these cases are necessary protections for those experiencing homelessness. Bob Erlenbush from the Sacramento Regional Coalition to End Homelessness said in a statement, this is a standard response from cities trying to circumvent the Boise decision. However, the logic of Boise is once you create enough housing, you can enforce anti-homeless ordinances. The California State Sheriff's Association is also joining the cities and counties, saying the Boise decision was detrimental.
Well, I don't disagree that basically what's happening is we're moving homeless from one sidewalk to another.
The Sheriff's Association says this is not a police issue, but the lack of enforcement is making it their problem.
When you have cities that have homelessness living right in their doorways where patrons don't want to visit that business, and when you see a high level of mental health out on the streets where, quite frankly, there's not enough or high quality care in the state of California in regards to our mental health, and it begins to bleed into our jail population.
California cities made a similar appeal in 2019, but the court declined to hear that case. Meanwhile, here's what we're working on for tomorrow. A Sacramento business owner has taken matters into his own hands after criminal activity in homeless encampments near his properties led to more than $200,000 in damage and theft. We first spoke to Rich Eaton back in May of last year. Then he had just put up a barricade on a public street and hired private security after the city finally moved the encampment from the dead-end road. Since then, he's been paying thousands of dollars a month to keep the 24/7 security there, and he says it's worth the money.
It's been amazing, and to the tune of $20,000 a month is what we're paying, but we have to pay it. If we didn't pay it, we'd be vacant, and we'd have vacant buildings, and it would be third world Sacramento as it was before May 1st.
And coming up tomorrow on To The Point, Eaton reached out to me this week after seeing the Sacramento County District Attorney file a lawsuit against the city of Sacramento, claiming the city has failed to address the homeless crisis. Eaton says that lawsuit is just like one he filed last year. And still to come, an invasive snail found in Lake Tahoe. What's being done to keep the lake clean?
Temperatures right now anywhere from 1 to 5 degrees cooler than they were 24 hours ago. But will this cooling trend continue? I have your answer after the break.
And later, our coverage of Hispanic Heritage Month rolls on. We're meeting a group of Mexicans with indigenous roots. They're making sure their main traditions live on. A number of invasive species have been found in our area this month. Divers in Lake Tahoe discovered the New Zealand mud snail in the lake's south shore. The snails were found while the divers were inspecting invasive weeds near the mouth of the Truckee River. Local agencies have put together a team to stop the snail and determine how widespread the infestation is. U.S. Fish and Wildlife credits commitment from the public for limiting aquatic invasive species from making it into Lake Tahoe. And Sacramento County is working to contain a small outbreak of the Oriental Fruit Fly. The county says the fly was found near Rancho Cordova and the American River Parkway. The most common ways flies like this find their way into our area is hitchhiking on fruit brought or mailed to California from somewhere else. A UC Davis professor explained to one of our sister stations why this fly could be devastating to the state's economy.
Devastating if for many of the growers, especially the small growers, pretty much destroys any possibility for them marketing their produce for that year.
Check this out. The area in the red is the new boundary created to contain the flies. Some of the areas inside this perimeter are being treated with pesticides to help kill the flies. Now, if you grow fruit or vegetables outside of your home, make sure to check them for the fruit fly maggots, which hatch when they're laid inside the fruit. It sounds kind of nasty, but you know, it's what we're doing to protect the California economy, right?
Yeah, that's right. And take a look at that haziness out there. I mean, we've been seeing it for the last couple of days.
Yeah.
As a lot of that wind from the north has moved in overhead, and now we're going to start to see it clear right back out as we are dealing with some of those winds now shifting. We'll see an onshore flow of air beginning to move in from the ocean, which should help out with some of that haziness over the weekend. Current temperatures sitting in these mid to upper 70s right now in Sacramento and Elk Grove, low 80s from Stockton, 78 in Modesto, really cooling off this evening in the foothills in the mid 60s to low 70s out there. Today's high was 82, well below the average of 88 this time of year. In the mid 50s, the overnight lows there. It has been much cooler in the evening hours now, so you can open the windows up, get some fresh air in, enjoy it, and the nice afternoon with those low 80s. Now, there is still an air quality warning in place. Madera, Merced, San Joaquin, and Stanislaus counties, really just Central Valley down. The fire weather warning that was in place north of Fairfield all the way up toward Redding has expired as of 5 p.m. We had very dry conditions, which we still do have, in those stronger winds in the last 24 hours. Now they're starting to slow down, so that's some good news, and that's because of this low that was right overhead, bringing in northerly winds. Now it's shifting east, and we are looking at this. A trough expected to arrive for us late Monday night into early Tuesday morning. If this begins to dig deeper, we could start seeing rain closer to Sacramento into the early morning hours of Tuesday. And that may bring us some significant rain, as much as at least 1/10 of an inch to maybe a quarter. But as of now, it's looking like it'll stay much further north of I-80. So we're going to wait and see. But at least temperatures will cool off into the upper 70s. We'll see another chance maybe that following Friday. Winds again slowing down about 10 miles per hour. And we'll continue to see cooler winds and temperatures through the weekend, slowing winds as well. Upper 70s Sunday into Monday. And there's that shot potentially for some showers early Tuesday morning. We'll continue to see 80s into next week. Becca.
Carly, thank you so much. After the break, we're continuing our coverage of Hispanic Heritage Month. We have a story about a group settling in our area working to pass their dance traditions on to younger generations. Well, here at ABC 10, we're continuing to tell the stories of Hispanic Heritage Month. Sacramento and California are home to a large population of Mexicans with indigenous roots. Many are preserving their culture through dance and music. ABC 10's Alicia Machado shows why passing these traditions on to new generations is so important.
With the blare of the brass band and beat of a drum, you're transported to Oaxaca, Mexico. The rhythms binding generations together through time.
The storytellers, dancers, sharing their heritage and customs through movement and vibrant costumes. The traditions passed down and kept alive by Latinos who keep a piece of home while they grow new roots in the United States.
I'm from Santo Domingo, Tonalá, Oaxaca. Yo soy de Santiago, Costahuaca, Oaxaca.
Yo vengo de Pátzcuaro, Michoacán.
Ustedes, muchísimas gracias por venir a Oaxaca en Sacramento.
Vidal Beltrán Aguilera is a dance teacher on a mission to preserve and share his culture in Sacramento.
Aunque vivamos aquí en Estados Unidos, no debemos olvidar de dónde venimos.
In 2010, he started a dance group called Lacustre Michoacán de Ocampo, dedicated to carrying on traditional Mexican dances and celebrations. It brings together immigrants and locals looking for connection to their heritage. Something Vidal found was missing when he came to the United States from Michoacán, Mexico, nearly 20 years ago.
Muchas de las personas dejamos lo que es nuestra familia, dejamos lo que es nuestra niñez dentro de México. Entonces, lo que yo trato de hacer aquí en Estados Unidos es traer un poquito de lo que nosotros dejamos allá.
He started dancing at a young age, making costumes for dance competitions with help from his mother.
Mi mamá fue una de las que nos ayudó a coser día y noche, a hacer los vestuarios.
Costumes that represent Mexico's history. The country has one of the most diverse indigenous populations in Latin America. Oaxaca's native indigenous population makes up more than 30% of the state. Numerous ethnic groups from Mixtec to Zapotec carrying on their own unique traditions, showcased through dances still practiced today. Vidal and other Northern California dance groups purchase authentic dresses, jewelry, and costume pieces from Oaxaca to show respect to their culture. One Mexican dance style known for its costumes, La Danza de los Diablos, or Dance of the Devils.
Everybody has their own mask, their own style of what they depict what the devil looks like.
The masks made of wood adorned with animal horns. Dancers also wear chivaras, which are chaps made of leather and goat hair.
And when we use the traditional chicote, which is the devil wood.
The crack of the chicote, an iconic part of the Dance of the Devils. Los Diablos de Santiago Huitlahuaca, based in Napa, California, carrying on the traditional dance style from the Mixteca region of Oaxaca.
Esta danza es para todos. Y es algo, me siento muy orgullosa porque lo que hacemos es algo que hacemos con mucha pasión, representando siempre lo que somos. Somos oaxaqueños, somos mexicanos. ¡Arriba, Oaxaca!
In Mexico, Oaxacans come together each summer for a festival called La Guelaguetza, also known as Los Lunes del Cerro, or Mondays on the Hill. The indigenous tradition is about sharing cultures through unique dances and customs from each of the 8 regions of Oaxaca. The festival originally had religious roots honoring the Aztec god of corn, but it has evolved over the years to symbolize reciprocity and strengthen the bond between Oaxaca's diverse regions, including the Central Valley.
Estoy ahorita portando es de los valles centrales y representa a las chinas oaxaqueñas.
Folk dancers representing Las Chinas Oaxaqueñas dance in vibrant skirts while balancing a basket on their heads. Alicia Martinez with Napa Valley-based dance group Ballet Folclórico Valle de Santa Elena says the dance represents the work of women in the community. Originally from Oaxaca, sharing these traditional dances is something close to her heart.
When I came here, I have a dream to make my group, teach my kids, teach my people how it feels being part of Oaxaca culture and roots.
Whether born in Oaxaca or in the United States, these traditional dances connect people across space and time.
Yo enseño lo que a mí me enseñaron mis antepasados, mis tíos, o lo que a mí me enseñaron en mi pueblo.
Northern California dance groups guiding even the youngest of dancers, the next wave of creative leaders who will continue to preserve these traditions.
We have family there and it just connects us there, so we want to keep the roots going to our future generations.
Vidal's dance group will perform at El Panteón de Sacramento in November, hosted by the Latino Center of Art and Culture. It's an event celebrating the centuries-old tradition of Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead. If you want more information on those events, head over to abc10.com. When we come back, some exciting news for Sacramento International Airport as a survey finds out exactly how much travelers like it. See if you agree. Finally tonight, some welcome news for the Sacramento International Airport. According to a study by J.D. Power, Sacramento ranks 6th for customer satisfaction among large airports in the United States. Now, there was a mega airport category above large, which many of the really big ones fall into, but SMF came in above San Jose, San Diego, and Oakland just in California alone. So congratulations to the hardworking people who helped keep SMF running and flying. And stay tuned for Wheel Jeopardy next. And on Wheel of Fortune, we have two locals, a woman from Roseville and a man from Sassoon City. Best of luck, you two.
Hey, it's Alex. Just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. I really love hearing from everyone, and I hope that you'll stay in touch. Reach out to me on Facebook at AlexBellTV, or you can email me at tothepoint@abc10.com, or you can even send me a text message at 916-321-3310.